When I say it feels right, it's not like we see dollar signs. You know, ding, 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 ding. It's what does the music make you feel? And that is also how we then, in turn, write lyrics. The lyrics comes at the very end, last, because we want the music to make you feel what it's about. And then we write lyrics around that. Sound like total hippies, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right?
What make you feel, man? You gotta feel.
Gotta feel good.
Yeah. Man.
I see it as not the end of a journey, but like this is just the beginning of We Shall Remain. But yes, it is the end of the keeping the secrets and keeping it tight. What do you think? It's a relief, or is it something else?
It's a little bit of both, because it has been a long journey of the creating the songs. There's been a lot, actually. It's a lot of us, as always, put into the albums.
Sure.
But now it's, I would say it's even more. It is actually, well, in my opinion, our best album, yes, but also the most important, because we've been through a lot. Yeah, so this one feels like, okay, now when it's released, chapter number 2 starts with all the touring. So we're looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at our back catalog, if you look at our previous album, which was Dancing in Hell, We Shall Remain is a natural progression from that. Like, yes, it was written during the time-ish of a pandemic, but we actually sat down and really wrote the album in 2022. That's what we've been keep saying. And Dancing in Hell was about being in your own personal hell and getting through that, just like surviving. We Shall Remain is more like this, as Madeline said, it's us. What you hear is us, things that we've been through and experienced. So We Shall Remain is a continuation from the personal hell. You should not forget the battles. You should not forget what you've been through. You need to still keep working after you've gotten through your personal hell. So
There's
yes,
always an aftermath.
there's always an aftermath. And yes, it is a very powerful statement. And it is very powerful because it comes from a true place. There is a lot empowerment to be found within We Shall Remain, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. The actual title, We Shall Remain, it started a little bit like a motto.
Yeah.
Like after we released our previous album, we couldn't tour with it. You know, there was nothing. And we're very happy that we released it, because it was well needed for us, but also for the fans, apparently, what they have told us. And it's something we're very happy about. But after that, it was just time of not knowing. And not knowing is always the worst thing. You don't have an ending date, you know. Everyone was like, what's happening? When are we able to get back to life? So we just started to, you know, continue to work. We run our Patreon, and we stayed in touch with our fans. We started on Twitch streams and whatnot.
We did.
And we were talking about this. But you know what? No matter what happens, we shall remain. So it became this very natural title for this album. It all just came together at the end. You know?
Yeah. And we're very clear with saying that it is not a pandemic
No.
album.
It's based on so much that we have experienced before.
Yeah.
I know, because I have been in a very deep depression. Even before the pandemic started. That didn't help. And I know how it feels like when you're in the midst of depression, where you feel like there's nothing left for me. There's nothing waiting for me. But I realized that, you know, there is. But you cannot just see it when you're in the deep depression itself. And when we start to say this, you know, we shall remain, I was like, well, yeah, there is something to live for, right? But it's just so hard to see it. But if you continue to say that to yourself, like, we shall remain, yes, of course, it actually works. I'm glad you asked.
More metal.
Yeah. It is heavier.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is heavier.
And I would say it has even more dynamics. And that is very natural, because it is heavier, but still we have the very melodic and atmospheric vibe to it. But also I do think that the sound in general maybe is a little bit more mature, I would say.
Like, we always create what feels right. We never sit down and ask ourselves, all right, what do people want to hear? You know, some people do that and it works for them, but I don't think it would ever work for us. So we only create what feels right, and this is it. And within that, there's always the challenging yourself part without trying to challenge yourself. So you experience the feeling like when a song is complete and done, and you listen to it and you need to relearn it, because when we create, we enter this flow moment. It just happens. And then you realize, holy shit, this is is hard. Shit, I need to learn again how to play this. So there is the challenge within also to play it live, because that's a very key point for Elaine, that what you hear is live.
What you hear is what you get.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, the orchestral arrangements, they are on backing tracks, but all guitars, all vocals, like the leads and the growls, and the bass, the drums, everything is live. So that is a key point that we have with us, that what you hear on the album is what you will hear live.
Yeah, so I guess you can just summarize it saying that it's heavier. It is a little bit more raw, the general sound as well.
Yeah.
And it feels like we have really grown into our role within the genre. I myself, I can agree with many that are doing reviews that it's not very classic symphonic metal, because it's not. We know this because we come from completely different influences, you know.
Definitely.
But it's still within that. So therefore we say it's like dark symphonic metal, but I like to have this raw and heavy vibe to it that is very important to both of us based on our influences. So yeah, let's say that it's heavier and it's better.
It's a perfect catchphrase.
Yeah, right?
Heavier and better. Yeah.
Natural.
Just very natural. Yeah. As I said, we only create what feels right.
What comes out is what will be, and if we think it sounds good, well, then it will be on the album.
Yeah.
But I mean, I come from black and death metal, pretty old school stuff. Yeah, right? I saw someone cheering here in the back, like, yeah! And I mean, you have your influences, everything from the grunge area to thrash metal.
Video games, old video games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it's very like natural development.
I was going to say something, but then I totally forgot.
Might be my fault.
I thought about video games now.
Like zoning out?
Yeah, screw it. Happens.
It's a very good question, because we're always like, well, how is it?
It varies from time to time. Many times, actually, it starts with a riff. I sit there and just go enter that flow moment and just do riff after riff, and then this is something. Other times it starts with Madeline has a melody and we create something around that. Or,
sometimes it's just a piece of lyrics.
Yeah.
Also, so it
yeah.
varies.
Hey, now we're dipping into what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
We always when we create when we say that we create what feels right, that also leaks into the music needs to make us feel. When I say it feels right, it's not like we see dollar signs. You know, ding 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 ding. It's what does the music make you feel? How do we interpret this music, this song? And that is also how we then in turn write lyrics. Like 95% of the time, the lyrics comes at the very end, last. I would even say 97% of the time, because we want the music to make you feel what it's about, and then we write lyrics around that.
Basically speak for itself. You know? It's very important, because we know what it's all about, because we are bringing the emotions.
Yeah, and that's also how we write music.
Yeah, it is. It is an interesting process. Whenever we get the question, it's like, well, how do we actually do it?
Yeah.
You know, it's always a little bit blurry when you're looking back. But
Sound like total hippies, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right?
What make you feel, man? You gotta feel.
You gotta feel good.
Yeah. Man.
No, but seriously, it is just very important for us to create music that feels right to us, because we always want to stay true to ourselves. We didn't go into this to become millionaires. If we can make a living out of it, we're very happy. If I can have food on the table, I'm super happy.
Yeah.
But what you will be rewarded with is beautiful fans. They give you, they fulfill your life, basically. And we get to have adrenaline kicks when we do our live shows. We have this hate-love relationship when it comes to songwriting. You know, at 1 second you think you're the best, and the other one you're very humble and think that everything sucks. But it is very rewarding.
It really is.
Yeah. So the lyric, like songwriting process in general, it's never exactly the same. But I do love some good riffs. So yes, it usually starts with some very good riffing. Yeah. I'm really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, like this past...
Great.
Yeah, it's really thumbs up. No, but this past year has been it has been hectic, actually. I mean, we never got to tour with our previous album, but we did an acoustic tour with Sonata Arctica last year. It was 7 weeks. It was a great one. No regrets.
It was very special.
It was very special. You know, when people hear acoustic, they'll be like, that is
Sitting
boring.
down.
Well, no, we were doing our thing, you know.
Yeah.
But then The tour with Camelot was a great experience, a super great band. And doing North America for the first time with friends that we have in Moonspell, you know. Our very first tour ever was with Moonspell in Europe. And now we got to experience North America for the very first time with them, you know. To me, it's like, you know, a bunch of uncles hanging there with me.
Yeah.
Super great guys, you know. We had a great time. And now we're going out on tour again with this album, supporting Pain.
Yep.
So it's going to be a great one in Europe once more.
Oh, super great. I mean, as you said, it is a huge deal because you can't put under the rug that Nightwish are legends within, especially our genre, for metal music itself. It was great. The reception from the audience was fantastic, right?
Honestly, I think it was mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing?
Yeah, I gotta say that. I mean, you can always expect something, right? But it was mind-blowing. It was such a magical evening, actually. And even the promoters noticed that. Oh, there's something certain in the air here tonight, you know? 4,500 people giving their best. It was...
sold out, and you could really feel the appreciation for music.
Yeah.
So during that evening, it was opening Art Nation, then was us, Elaine, and Nightwish after us, of course. Everyone got all this love, and that is what I really enjoy about the metal community. That is what most people that aren't in the metal community, they don't understand that it is about community, unity, and empowerment. And that is also what our music revolves around: community, unity, empowerment.
Our own headline tour?
Maybe.
Well, you know, like, what we can share is that we release our new album now. We're going on tour supporting Pain this fall. It's going to be great. But this is just the beginning of everything that is waiting for us, you know, for this album cycle, so to speak. So we can at least say you can expect something next year of 2024. So. In Germany?
Ooh.
Oh, it's a great experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can say that we're pretty much fans of Germany and
Oh,
the
yeah.
German fans because it is always a good vibe. People are always very dedicated. They always bring the good mood to the shows and they give it all, you know. So we love to play them.
I can say that Germans are great at clapping in unison.
Yes, it just
I love
works.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
Vada Salas started with actually a poem that I wrote in English. I saw the words, it was kind of what I wanted, but I didn't feel it. So I figured that, okay, maybe I need to do it in my own native language, which is Swedish. Didn't feel right at all. Very interesting, actually. But we have done like a cover of Mein Herz brennt in the past. Rickard, he has German heritage.
I do.
I love the German language. I think it's so beautiful and has so many expressions that just make sense. So I actually threw myself out there and was like, let's see if it works. And it felt so right. Like, it was like everything just came into place, you know? So I had that, and we were working on a song already, and I just said to Rickard, maybe we can look at this.
Yeah.
And it just fit, you know? It was this perfect match. So that is how that came to life.
It's such a rich culture of music. There is so much music in Germany. Also, Madeline loves the German language. Mein Oma kam aus Deutschland, so ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. It's just like we have so much connected already, and we wanted to emphasize that even more. So that was just a perfect fit when Madeline translated that lyric to German.
It made sense.
Yeah.
It was like it was needed to have the German language to make the actual poem come to life, so to speak, without sounding too cheesy. But it was exactly what I wanted. Well, movies have a huge influence on us. It has. Like, Gladiator is one of my all-time favorites. It has affected me a lot. And actually other movies like Prince of Egypt, I'm not religious at all. It has nothing to do with that. It's more like the actual story about it. And again, the music. You know, Hans Zimmer is one of the absolute best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I sit there and create the orchestral arrangements, I have in the back of my head 35, 37, 38 years soon of music. Like growing up, experiencing the 80s going into the 90s and that overlap with video games and the music within video games and the movies and the movie scores and just like everything it was a huge expansion of music back then in entertainment. And I think that also really, because it made you feel, you know what I mean? We're coming back to that again, because it's just true. It just comes back to that it makes you feel. So this time around for We Shall Remain, I did a little special thing for certain songs. So when creating the orchestral arrangements, I actually played a video game that I enjoyed. Yeah. And I muted the video game. Then I played it and I played back what I created, like da-da-da-da-da, and it felt right. All right, it was action part of the game, action part in the music. All right, somber part. All right, somber part in the music. If it fit, then I felt, all right, this feels good. Certain songs, some songs, not all. But,
and if anyone is listening to this wondering, well, I don't see any images. Well, I'm sure you have seen movies out there, you know, with battlefields and whatnot. And to give an example, if we take Vadas Alles as a very good example, there's a part in the verse before the first chorus saying, we marched at dawn, already doomed. And the thing is that what we want to create, what I see in my head, not to be too hippie now, just follow me, is that you see that you're on a battlefield, right? You're doing your very fucking best, but the thing is that you are heading towards something that everyone already knows, that these guys, they're doomed. You won't make it. And then you're in the middle of it, then the chorus comes and asking, Vad ist alles? Wie kann es nur sein? I mean, in that moment, we just want you to see that you are standing there realizing that, oh shit, there wasn't more to this. And I'm sure you can relate. Just check any warlike movies, maybe Gladiator as a very good example. It is very good, you know, to use your fantasy and also see images.
Also, when you see your own impending doom ahead of you, it's hard to see something past that.
Exactly.
Wie kann es nur sein?
So you can put it to a war movie if you want to, but you can also put it into if you're in a relationship and you realize that this would never work, you know. We were already doomed from the very start. Was this everything? Well, yeah, but it doesn't have to mean that you're completely lost, but you have gained an experience. So you can really put it into whatever you want in life. I like the movies, so. I can say that if we would have a Rammstein budget, I would love to create movie-like music videos. That would be fantastic because we do have images in mind, but when we don't have that, I like to keep it pretty simple. We both do, because we want to perform the song, because something happens when you perform a song. I'm sure you've experienced this when you go to a live concert. And you know, in the music videos, you can do parts of it, but we like to connect. We like to, you know, look you in the eye and deliver the message more than actually have this storyline. You can always emphasize a song with, you know, actors, or you're acting yourself. And we love that, but we want to have the default in a way that we are performing.
Yeah, like metal, you know, it's a performance. And up until the last couple of videos, we've created our own videos from scratch. You know, always producing and directing, but also filming and editing. And still edit, still film some. And I'm talking like the last 3 videos. We got some help with actual filming of the videos.
And putting up the gear.
And whatnot. Man, oh man.
A relief.
It was a huge relief, but still directing and producing. And I would say, like, the standard, do we have high standards? I think the question is more directed, in my mind, like, do we have high standards against ourselves? And yes, as a creator, you always are your worst critic and your biggest fan. So I would say the high standard is in here against ourselves.
It's the most important.
Everything, yeah.
Like
there's nothing more important, I think.
No, because I mean, we're here because of our fans.
Yeah.
That is just how it is for any band. But I've said this in so many interviews, and I'm sure someone will be, I don't know, provoked by it. I don't care, but I really think that if you as a band choose to not have any connection at all with your fans, I think you're missing out on something. I'm not very good at being in social places, you know, but having a connection with your fans and talking to them directly and just see the spark in their eyes, it is a daily reminder of why you're doing this. You make a change in people's life with your music. I just feel that you're missing out on something. I highly recommend to actually reconsider, because there's so many people out there, well, like myself, maybe having a diagnosis or just feeling uncomfortable around people. They're maybe shy. I don't know. It can be anything, but you can do so much with just your very presence, you know? And it's a beautiful exchange. I gain so much energy from our fans, and therefore I can give so much of myself. And I mean, from my end, like the fans, it was really the help that I needed when it came to my depression. Except the professional help I searched for, of course, but they were like a huge part of it. They were.
Yeah.
So I would say they're very important.
And I totally agree with what Madeline says, that that doesn't only go for Madeline, like with the receiving and giving the energy, because it is a two-way street that is needed, and that we think is the most important thing ever. As you said, we wouldn't be here without our fans, so how would that look? You know, it's just not even possible. There's no need to downplay that at all. Like, it's the biggest thing ever. The EMP community is fan-friggin-tastic. We've had nothing but good experiences, and today in Leipzig was just amazing and just so warm.
Yeah, we were very proud to be a part of the EMP community. You know, we're really happy about that, because, you know, I've been following EMP since, you know, a young age.
Yeah.
It is really a dream coming true to be able to be here and be a part of all of this. And it's also very beautiful to see the people in the store actually walking around here having this. And that you guys at EMP actually keep this alive. It is something that we're extremely grateful for. So you're beautiful. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Me too. Thank you for the interview. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.